Welcome back to Universe. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Marvel Champions. This is one of the newest hero packs, Wolverine, against one of the newest villain packs from the MojoMania set, Spiral. This will be my first game with Wolverine and against Spiral. Let's take a look first at Logan. So he starts with his claws pretty much, and he has 6 recover, which is quite a bit. And then in hero form, he's got a hand size of 5, and he heals 2 every hero phase with the baseline of 222 stats. So nothing too exciting there other than the 6 recover is pretty big, and then healing 2 actually is pretty big as well. Wolverine's claws is starting in play, and it gives us the ability to exhaust the claws and choose an attack in our hand, take damage equal to its printed cost, and play it for free, and give it piercing so we can slice through tough. We're starting with 10 hit points. We're playing against Spiral, and she cannot be dealt damage because she has escaped. We don't know where she is. She's hiding somewhere in Mojo's universe in a TV show. And in fact, when she would attack, she schemes instead. So she's just going to be scheming on this across the Mojoverse scheme. It has 15 per player, so 15. And it basically makes it so that these show environments are going to be swapping out. We have a little show deck here. I've randomly selected to start with Dial M for Mojo, which means we are in a crime series. Encounter cards get Insight 1, and friendly characters get +1 thwart, which seems pretty nice since we start out not being able to attack her necessarily. And then the bottom text basically just means there can only be one setting in play at a time. If it had been part of the encounter deck, that might matter, but instead what we're going to be doing is, again, flipping through this deck as we search for Spiral with this side scheme, which is also permanent. And after we remove the last threat from here, we check the next deck or card in that environment deck. We can also take 2 damage to heal or remove 3 from here. And since Wolverine can heal, we might want to do that. And this little deck has 2 more environments as well as 1 card that says we've cornered Spiral. So if this is the card that comes up, we will actually get to fight her. So I'll put this back. I've already resolved my mulligan, so let's get started. +1 thwart is nice. That would let Wolverine resolve the search for Spiral in 1 thwart. Or I can play Track by Scent and remove 3 threat and draw 2 cards, which seems nice as well. But the thing is, this always does 3, but if we change the environment, we won't get that +1 bonus. So I'm thinking I'm going to change to Wolverine, and I'm going to thwart for 3 and begin this search for Spiral. And rather than shuffling a 3-card deck, I'm just going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a 2, so that'll be this card here, which is Mojo in the middle. And that's our new show environment, is the sitcom. Each obligation gains an acceleration icon. After a player discards an obligation, that player draws a card. Okay, so this Dial M for Mojo is discarded to the bottom of the deck. And that's our new environment. And 3 more threat gets put on search for Spiral. We have not found her. We're just found ourselves in a different show. So now I think I'll start playing cards, and I'm going to play Pixie, 1 thwart and 2 attack with 2 consequential damage. I'm going to spend Forge in Logan's cabin to play her, and then she says after I play her from my hand, I can add an X-Men ally from my discard pile to my hand, so I get Forge back. Now she's out. Now I'm going to go ahead and play Track by Scent, spending Forge and Endurance to remove 3 threat from the search for Spiral, which means I get to draw 2 cards and roll on these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get a 3, which is this card, cornered. So now we have found Spiral. When revealed, flip Spiral to her cornered side. This will cause her when revealed text to resolve, although she only has when revealed text on phase 3, and we're playing standard, so that won't happen. Then reveal the top card of the show deck and shuffle the show deck. So this is going back into the show deck. This card is coming out as our new environment, a game of Mojos. Each player gets +1 hand size, but when revealed, discard each other setting. Oh yeah, so this is just going to be plus a boost icon. I think I'm okay with that. And now these cards are shuffled, but again, I'll be rolling dice as necessary. 3 goes back on the search for Spiral, and Spiral flips to cornered. So now she will actually attack. There's at least 3 per player teleport counters here. Remove all of them and flip her. So she will try to teleport away from us. Until then, we can damage her. And after she activates, place a teleport counter on her. So the more she does, the more she will prep her teleportation away. Unfortunately, the 2 cards I drew are not really ones I'm going to be able to play. But I can play this Lunging Strike by paying with Wolverine's Claws, or activate that to pay 3 health going down to 7 in order to play this for free. And it's going to deal 8 damage with overkill, but that won't matter. We're just going to hit Spiral down to 5 from 13. And then I think Pixie will thwart for 1 off the main scheme. And I do have Regenerative Healing, which I could play for 1, heal 4, or discard Stunned and Confused, which are not relevant. And I got another Track by Scent to remove 3 threat and potentially draw 2 cards, but none of that will help. But I think that turn was okay, so we'll end here. Ready up. Draw up to 6, actually, because of Game of Mojos. The fantasy setting gives us +1 hand size. 1 per player threat gets added to the main scheme. Spiral will activate against us, and I think we will block with Pixie, so it's going to be 1 damage plus the boost of 2s, 3 damage to Pixie plus 1 because of this, so 4 damage to Pixie. Doesn't matter. Thank you, Pixie. And Spiral will collect 1 teleport counter, and then we get an encounter card, which is Crime Scene Investigation. Hinder 1, so it's going to have 6 threat on it. Threat cannot be removed from other schemes. Wow. Hero actions spend X mental resources to remove X from here. So we found ourselves at a Crime Scene Investigation, and we can't remove threat from any other scheme. But right now, we're not necessarily removing threat. We are fighting Spiral. Start of round 2 in the hero phase, Wolverine heals 2 up to 9. All right, so I'm going to play Beast. He costs 4. I'll pay with It Got Better, Regenerative Healing, and Strength. And Beast says, when he enters play, search my deck and discard pile for a resource. So I'll get Strength back from my discard pile. Beast will thwart for 2 against the Crime Scene Investigation, putting it down to 4. And I think I need Wolverine to thwart it as well, putting it down to 2. So it's going to be a little bit overkill when I play another Track by Scent, paying with the Strength in order to remove the last 2 from it and draw 2 cards. So now we're free to remove threat from other places. No attacks to play for free with Wolverine's Claws, unfortunately. I am playing a Leadership Wolverine deck. I got it from Marvel CDB. Somebody created a deck called the Bub Club, so if you want to see the deck list, you can check the link in the description for that. But that does mean I am light on attacks. I think I'm going to play Berserker Frenzy. After Wolverine takes any amount of damage from an enemy attack, we draw a card. If we go to Alter Ego, we lose it. So I'm going to pay with these 2 cards. Both would have been okay to have out, but I think I'm going to go this direction, and I just have to end the turn. Didn't do any damage to Spiral. All we did really, I mean, we got Beast out, we got Berserker Frenzy out, and we got dealt with the Crime Scene Investigation. So otherwise, we get 1 here. We get an attack from Spiral, and I'll just let Wolverine take it so we can trigger Berserker Frenzy. Oh, I should have drawn my new hand of 6. Still have the Game of Mojos out, so she's hitting for 1 plus a boost of 2, so that's 3, 4 damage to him, putting him down to 5, and we get to draw a 7th card and get an encounter card, which is Advance. Oh no. Okay, so she did get the 2nd teleport counter from the attack, and now she's going to be able to scheme for 1 plus a boost of 2, which is 3, putting the main scheme up to 5 out of 15. And because she activated, she gets her 3rd teleport counter, which means she teleports away back to Escaped, and we're going to have to track her down again. Wolverine heals 2 up to 7. All right, now I'm going to play Angel. He costs 3, but he costs 1 less because we're a mutant or X-Man. So I'll pay with these 2 cards and put him into play. We're going to have Angel and Beast thwart against the search for Spiral, hoping for the best. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting from the bottom leftmost card, that would be this one, which was the Mojo in the middle. This goes to the bottom. This is the card that cares about obligations. So we removed this 3, and then it came back. That's a bummer. I don't think I'm going to be able to thwart again, which means I'm also not going to be able to do damage. What I guess I can thwart with Wolverine, bringing it down to 1, and then play Jubilee. And I'll pay with Genius and choose Spiral to take an extra 2 damage, but I don't think it's going to matter. We're just going to use her 1 thwart to finish this off. Of course, it's going to come back to 3. 1 consequential damage to her. And now it's 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and we got a 1, which is cornered again. Okay, so this card comes out, and these 3 go back to form the deck. And now we have the Incite 1 on encounter cards, and +1 thwart on our friendly characters. Spiral is cornered again, so we can do damage to her. And I'll exhaust Wolverine's Claws and take 2 damage to play Berserker Barrage. Wolverine's at 5. We're going to deal 4 damage. If it defeated an enemy, we could take 2 to repeat it, but it's just going to put her down to 1. Unfortunately, Jubilee's boost is only for basic attacks, and we had to thwart with Wolverine. All right, we get to ready. We only get 5 cards this time. So we're back to the crime setting. I did keep 1 card from my previous hand. across the Mojoverse goes up to 6. Spiral will attack. Do I want to draw a card with the Fury? But he's only at 5. I think I'll live on the edge and let her hit us for 1 plus a boost of 0. So just 1 damage to Wolverine, and he gets to draw from Berserker Rage. She gets a teleport counter, and we get a card, which is Goblin. This card says each other encounter card gains Insight 1. So I think that does mean to add another to the main scheme. Goblin says Surge, and can only take damage from cards with a printed Strength resource. When defeated, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Okay, so Surge means we get another card. Caught off guard, discard an upgrade or support you control, and it again has Insight 1, putting across the Mojoverse up to 8 out of 15. And I think we can lose the Berserker Frenzy now. Wolverine's kind of low on health. We might not be using that much longer. We can't actually hit the Goblin because we don't have any allies with Strength resource, and our hero doesn't have a resource at all. All right, I'm glad I drew a card because I drew Make the Call, and I had the Power of Leadership with no other leadership cards. So now we can make the call. Oh, I'm going to have to get a leadership ally if I pay with Power of Leadership. So that is just Pixie currently, unless I let Beast phase out first. So let's hold off. Now, if I defeat phase 1, does she become hidden again? Escaped? I think so. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that when she is escaped, also threat can't be removed from the main scheme. So it's a good thing she's cornered right now. And we have +1 thwart right now. Let's thwart with Angel just to get a little bit more safety. He thwarts for 2 because of Dial M for Mojo. Jubilee is going to attack for 1, so she's going to be defeated from her consequential damage, but that'll put Spiral from 1 down to 0, which means we switch. I also don't know if she's supposed to lose her 1 teleport counter, but I don't think she would. She's now going up to 15. If we defeat this version of her, we win. 2 scheme now and no attack. So now let's go ahead and should be 1 more damage here. Scheme with Beast for or thwart for 3 against the search for Spiral. So he'll be defeated. We remove the 3. Of course, it'll come back. Roll to see which card comes out. 1 is going to be the bottommost card, which is Mojo in the middle. The obligation card, Sitcom. We don't have the thwart boost anymore. Now I'll make the call, and I'm going to pay 4 so that I can get Beast out, and he gets to search us for a resource card, which will be Genius. And then he can thwart, and Wolverine can thwart for 2 each. To finish search for Spiral again, got a 50-50. A 6 is going to be this card, which is cornered. So this is the new card coming out. These reform the deck. We got the Game of Mojo's back, which is the +1 hand size and +1 boost. She's now cornered, so she has 2 scheme, 2 attack. We can damage her and remove stuff. I'm going to spend the Genius to play Adamantium Skeleton, which gives Wolverine +4 health. Oh, I should have healed for 2. Go up to 6 and then up to 10. His basic attacks also get +1 and gain piercing. Unfortunately, we keep having to thwart. But then I'm going to pay 3 as I exhaust Wolverine's Claws in order to use Lunging Strike again, dealing 8 with Overkill. Oh, so we can actually hit the Goblin. I think that's the best. So we'll Overkill the Goblin. It only has 1 hit point, and this does have a strength resource. So 1 here and 7 to Spiral puts her down to 8. And we'll end our turn and get 6 cards thanks to a game of Mojos. 1 threat goes on across the Mojoverse. Spiral will attack 2 plus a boost. Don't have the Berserker Rage. Let me see my hand. Let's just take it. So it'll be 2 plus a boost of 2, putting him down to 3. And then our card. Oh, actually, +1 boost. He's at 2. She gets a second teleport counter. Oh, no! In this version of her, she actually teleports away with 2 per player counters. So again, I'm assuming that she kept that 1 that she had before. But yeah, now she's teleporting away from us again. Dang it. And we get an encounter card, which is Family Matters. Treat the printed text box of each support you control as if it were blank. So we don't actually have any supports. These are both upgrades. And this is an obligation. Exhaust your identity and each support you control to discard it. Okay, so now we have that obligation, but it's not affecting us right now. Now we have to search for her again. Wolverine heals for 2 up to 4. I was hoping to be able to finish off Spiral, but now that she's escaped again, I think I just have to thwart with Angel and Beast. And that's going to be 3 off the search for Spiral. See where we end up. 5 is this card, which is cornered. So we got lucky And this goes back, or rather this comes out, and these go back. Dial M for Mojo, +1 thwart. But she is cornered. Now Family Matters is affecting us because I drew Command Team, and it would be nice to be able to reuse Beast. But unfortunately, we're having a family squabble with our Command Team at the moment. I'm going to cheat just a little bit, and I'm going to play Rapid Response in the past before I used Angel. Although I guess I didn't know. No, that's not right. I didn't know that I was going to find Spiral. But if I had played Rapid Response first, I could have brought Angel back. He would do 2. Wolverine could do 3 because of his skeleton. And I have 3 more damage available. So maybe not. What I was hoping to be able to do was Rapid Response Beast after readying him with Command Team and then get search for another resource, reuse him, etc. So I think the best thing I'm going to be able to do is play Gentle, and he gets +1 consequential damage if he attacks the villain. But we are going to do that, so he'll take 2 consequential damage as he attacks for 3, putting Spiral down to 5. Wolverine can attack for 3 again because of the adamantium skeleton, gives him +1, putting her down to 2. And that is all the damage we're going to be able to do. I do need to pay for Gentle with energy and the X-Jet, another support we wouldn't be able to benefit from. Wolverine is down at 4, which is a little low. I could play Regenerative Healing to buff him up by 4, but I think instead I will just spend these 2 cards to bring Rapid Response out anyway, and we'll be able to block with Beast and then bring him back for another resource. Already up, hand size of 5, but our deck only has 4 cards. We're going to get an extra encounter card. Card number 5, ready up our allies. Get +1 threat on the main scheme across the Mojoverse. Up to 8 again. Spiral is going to attack and then get a portal counter. We will block with Beast, so she's attacking for 2 plus a boost of 1. 3 damage to Beast. We'll use Rapid Response. Discard this, put Beast into play with 1 damage on him, and search our deck and discard pile for a resource. And I'll grab energy. Now she's going to have 2 encounter cards for us. Let's just hope neither of them has her activating. Elementary, My Dear Mojo, has Insight 1 because of Dial M for Mojo. And choose 1. Move all threat from a side scheme to the main scheme, or discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a side scheme is discarded and reveal it. I guess I'll take a side scheme because just in case, if we put this up to 12, there's a chance that she advances or something. Or even just 1 encounter card would be Insight 1 +1. Although actually this would change because we'd bring this down to 0 and then we'd flip a new environment. So the next encounter card would not have Insight 1. But nonetheless, I think a side scheme is safer than putting this up to 12 or 13. So let's discard till we get a side scheme. We got Dragnet, Hinder 1, so it's going to have 6. Villain cannot take damage. Hero action spends strength resources. Dang, and I just got energy. And this does have Insight 1. It did get revealed technically by Elementary, My Dear Mojo. Second card is Spiral's Swords. All right, so 6 on this. Spiral's Swords attached to her has 3 sword counters. She gets +1 attack for each sword counter on it. And if she is cornered, we can spend 2 strength to remove 1 sword counter. All right, so she has +3 attack, fortunately. I don't think she'll be attacking us again, assuming we can get through this Dragnet. Oh, and that had Insight 1 as well. We are at 11 on Across the Mojoverse. Wolverine heals 2 up to 6. We do have +1 thwart thanks to Dial M for Mojo, so we can thwart with Gentle for 2, putting Dragnet down to 4. Beast can thwart for 3, putting it down to 1. Oh, and Gentle was defeated. That was his last consequential damage, but then I'll play Make the Call with the Power of Leadership and a Command Team to bring him back. He can thwart for 2 again, meaning Dragnet is taken care of. We can thwart for 3 just to get this a little bit lower before we go ahead and play Berserker Barrage to deal 4 damage. Pay with the energy we searched up and defeat Spiral. We still could have taken 2 damage with Wolverine's Claws to play another Berserker Barrage, but we didn't need to. So there you go. We managed to have Leadership Wolverine take out Spiral. I will say the Claws are not as good in Leadership. I feel like I do want more attack events. Otherwise, you're really at the mercy of drawing the he does have, I mean, he has the Berserker Barrages. Oh, Slice and Dice, I never drew that one. Make 2 attacks in order, 3 damage and 3 damage, and then the Lunging Strike. So he does have some attacks for sure. multiple copies of all those, but sometimes I just didn't have them. And because of the way Spiral works, I was having to thwart with Wolverine a lot, which the adamantium skeleton doesn't love. But track by scent was certainly nice, and we managed to pull it off. Dial M for Mojo actually helped too, giving us +1 thwart. Yeah, these environments are obviously beneficial and hindrances as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe so we can get more subscribers, and bye.